Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Keisha. I'm back in Alabama for now. Who knows? But anyway, I just wanted to record this video because I was called to, and as you can tell by the title, it's gonna ruffle some feathers. But sometimes, sometimes I don't know why God puts a message in my mind. And I know it sounds kind of cliche. You might see other people saying, God told me to do this, God told me to do that. At first, I used to be one of those people like, oh, here we go again. Somebody says, God said this, God said that. But I know for a fact, because the feeling was so strong, I was trying to ignore it. But I know for a fact I need to go ahead and talk about this. And it's the fact that the men in my life have failed me. Now, let me put this disclaimer out there. I'm not bashing men. No, this is not no bashing party. This is not no, forget men and all that stuff. Again, if you know me or seen my videos and stuff, I still desire to be married to a man. I still see myself, in a relationship with a man. It's just that my standards of who should be my partner has changed and evolved so much, probably within the past 5 years. It has evolved so much. So when I say that, basically, I'm not looking for a superior. I'm not looking for anybody who's inferior. I'm looking for my equal. They're out there. I'm not saying it's hard, but it's just more like I'm a very unique individual, and I think we all are unique in our own way. But I know myself, and I know that it takes a special type of guy to be in a relationship with me. It really does, and I'm not going to settle for less. Period. So. Also, don't you like my red? I look like I work at Target shirt. Yeah, I don't know why I chose to wear this shirt. I've already had a couple of people has asked me questions like I work there, and I had to give them that awkward saying that, oh, I don't work here. And they probably look at me like, why you dressed like that? Just ignore the fact that I look like a Target employee. Anyway, so I want to share with you guys why my upper lip is sweaty, but why I feel like the men in my life who were significant to me and how it molded me into the person that I am today, and how I resented those men so much to the point where I was actually doing a lot of self-destructive activities. But now that I have healed from that, I can thank them and move on. Okay? And this is for you girls who felt the same way, or even men. Men can be in the same boat, whether you were like me, who say that were affected by women in their lives, or other men. So I don't want this to be just for women, but of course, since I am a woman, I had to talk into my own perspective. So anyway, I just want to explain that. So I want to give you the backstory of the significant guys in my life, but I want to start in order from the side characters, the ones who didn't make too big of an impact, to the major characters, as I gotten older, and who made a really big impact in my life. To give you some backstory of where this is coming from, let's go way back. I'll say probably about the age of 15. This is when I first moved to Huntsville, Alabama. This was about 1999, going on to 2000. I was excited. We just moved from a very small town in Louisiana. So Huntsville was, in my eyes, really huge. It was just so many people, and it was so diverse. I mean, I just never seen so many black people all in one city, which was awesome. It was really awesome. So I went to Butler High School, which doesn't exist anymore. I shouldn't laugh, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for people who graduated from Butler High School, but it is kind of funny that it doesn't exist. I was 15 years old in the 10th grade, and I met my first boyfriend that I dated when I was in Huntsville. Now, what I liked about him, physically, he was very tall, very unique looking, and he wore braces. And I wore braces back then too, so I was like, oh my gosh, we can be this couple that wear braces. I know it was lame, but hey, it is what it is. during our time dating, I noticed there were some things he said. Like, he seemed like he was really into me, and I think he was, but he has some, I don't want to say mental issues, but for whatever reason, he seemed to want to tell me things about myself to make me feel less than. Like, for instance, I told him some things where, you know, I wanted to sing, be on TV, be a celebrity, things like that. He used to say, well, that's not going to be possible because of the way you talk. I was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, when you talk, your mouth doesn't open that much. I'm like, you know, I know it doesn't make sense now, but back then, you know, I was a little insecure, things like that. Even the littlest things kind of bothered me. Back in my mind, like, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. That chipped away from my self-esteem. But then this boyfriend at the time, let's just call him Devin. So Devin at the time, we dated, and then after 2 weeks, he dumped me. And I was like, I thought we were getting along. Everything was great. You know, this is my first boyfriend. I was so proud. But come to find out, he dumped me for a more popular girl who was on the basketball team. Well, that told me that, back then, in my mindset, I was thinking that I was just not enough. Like, here we go, Keisha's not enough. But now that I'm older, I understand that it wasn't about me. It was more about him, his own self-esteem. He has his, and even to this day, I hope he sees this video, but even to this day, he has this mentality that he needs to be the most popular guy wherever you go. Like in Butler High School, he wanted to be the most popular guy. And now that we're adults, he wants to be the most popular guy in Huntsville. I get that. Now I understand that there's just some people who just want to have that image. And if I don't fit that mold or the image of what they want, or they can't change me or mold me to what they want, then they dump me. So I can laugh about it now, but when I was younger, of course, teenager and everything, it really hurt my soul. You know, it was just like, what was wrong with me? That's how my mind was. What is wrong with me? But I healed from that. You know, it is what it is. Now, the next ex-boyfriend, we'll call him, I'm trying to think of a good name. We'll call him Craig. I don't know why that made me laugh, because technically I'm kind of matching it with the first letter of the names of the real people. So it just makes me laugh. I know, I'm just so goofy. I can't help it. Craig was somebody, I met him in high school, but he already graduated from high school. So I was 15, 16. He was 18 at the time. And my mom told me that I could not date him because he already was out of school, which, you know, it was fine. I wasn't rebellious. Fast forward, I'm about 18, 19 years old. I'll say 19 years old. And Craig, he was older at the time. And of course, I'm old enough to date him. Craig was a little bit more significant because he was that quote unquote bad guy. He was into some substances, you know, dealing it. He was adventurous to me. That's why I kind of liked him a lot. Cause you know, it was like, I felt like I had a boring life. You know, I just dropped out of college and everything, and I just needed to get into some fun. And plus I needed a guy who kind of like, I don't want to say worship, but he kind of put me in some kind of pedestal. You know, he used to say, oh, you know, you're a really pretty dark skinned girl and everything. And, you know, my self-esteem was like, okay. So, I know. So, I guess he was my dopamine fix per se when it comes to my own low self-esteem back then. But then as time progressed, I didn't understand it back then, but now I do. He wanted me to be a certain person. Like, I remember he invited me to his home. He had some friends over, and he wanted to show me off, but I guess I didn't meet his criteria because, you know, I didn't dress up. I just kind of threw on whatever, and he wasn't disappointed in that. So yeah, so it was very obvious that Craig was looking at my physical appearance, and he was just showing me off. And if I don't meet that criteria, he became less and less attracted to me. Now, there's nothing wrong with, you know, being in a relationship and you want them to be attractive and all that stuff, but it was really very minuscule how nitpicky, or he was very nitpicky. It was really weird. Like, first of all, I'm a type of person, like, when you first meet me, that's how I am. I'm not going to put on a mask or try to, trick you to think that I'm one thing and not another. So who I am is who I am the first day you meet me, right? So he knew who I was the first day he met me, but it's almost like he just wanted me to be perfect all the damn time. And I'm like, nobody's perfect all the damn time. You're not perfect, not even close. So that was one factor about him that it bothered me. Again, it bothered me at the time that he just was acting or treating me a certain way, and I thought it was my fault again. Here I go blaming myself. Then also he made a comment that I never ever forget to this day. Never forget. We were walking through my parents' neighborhood at that time, just kind of walking, looking at the houses that were being built, and out of the blue, he was asking me, what do I rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10? And I'm like, where's this coming from? Like, I don't even ask you that, but so why are you asking me? And mind you, he is not an attractive guy, even to this day. That's so horrible, but it's true. He's not an attractive guy. But again, he just had that bad boy image that I like. But I never told him that. I never said in his face, like, hey, dude, you're ugly. But he gave me his rating, which at the time he said I was an 8 or whatever, but I don't even care about what number he gave me. It was just more like, where did this come from? But then he followed up by saying, you'll look even better if you were light skinned. Like, here's the thing about me. Even back then, when I was younger and had a lower self-esteem, I never thought that my skin color, or never fathomed that my skin color was less than. I love my skin color back then and even now. So when I meet people who want to bring out conversations about my skin color and just try to talk about it all the time and things like that, I just get turned off, because it's like, it's not about complimenting at this point. It's just about a comparison. You're just comparing yourself, somebody you used to date, a friend, family member. It's all about comparison, and that's what I hate about the Black community. I'm saying it now because it happens more in the Black community than any other race I ever encountered. We always talk about our skin color and we compare ourselves so much. It's just like, it needs to really stop. It really does. But hey, I'm kind of wishing upon a star. But anyway, so he said that, and again, it didn't affect my self-esteem. It was just more like, okay, whatever. Then the events that followed after that, he cheated on me and everything. And when I caught him cheating, you know what he told me? He told me that we are not a good match because of my upbringing, because he was raised in a single parent home and I was raised with both my parents. Mind you, and I cannot stress this enough, he knew how my family dynamic was when he first met me. He knew I didn't hide anything. So all of a sudden, it's a problem? You see? So that's what I had to learn, is that a lot of these bad folks, a lot of these folks with mental issues, they like to reflect it and say it's you. Even though they have the mental issue, they want to be like, switch it up and say, no, you're the one with the mental issue. You're the one with the problem. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, that relationship obviously did not even work out. It even got so bad that we got into a physical fight. Yeah, that was the only boyfriend I ever had where there was a physical fight. And I'm telling you, I want to be very transparent about this, because I know there's women who've been through this or who's going through it right now. No, nothing is worth being with someone who wants to physically fight you, who wants to argue with you all the dang time. Nothing is worth that. Not your nice house, not your nice car, not the kids that you have, not the life that you share. When it becomes physical, you cut them out. Cut them out forever. Forever. So, sorry about that. But because that was a very, very painful moment. And even back then, I'm a very peaceful person. I don't like to fight. even though I could whoop a bitch ass, but I don't like to fight. Also, I just want to add in, when you have a low self-esteem, you're going to attract these type of people. I mean, is this inevitable? Do what you can to fix how you feel about yourself so you can attract the people who deserve to be in your life. All right, so let's go ahead and fast forward. We're going to go to my ex-husband. Now, my ex-husband, let me put out this disclaimer because I'm pretty sure he's watching this video. My ex-husband recently has helped me purchase a vehicle, and I'm very, very grateful that he has helped me do that. Immensely grateful. But let's make it clear. He told me the reason why he helped me, and it was something that happened throughout our marriage, something that really bad that happened. And no, it was not infidelity. No, it was not physical abuse. I'm just going to throw that out. Not because he loved me. I'm not going to go into detail, but what he did throughout the relationship, or one of the things he did, was horrific. And he knows that. We already talked about it. I forgive him. Thanks for the car. So let's get that out of the way. Now, my ex-husband, this was a few years afterwards. So I've been in a few relationships before him. Nothing really serious. My ex-husband eventually married him. So that was serious, right? I'll be honest with myself. And you, again, I might have talked about this in a previous video. I didn't want to date him initially, but he was like he was love bombing me. There you go. Love bombing. Basically, that's when a person first meets you and gives you so many compliments. So much so that you're like, okay, it's kind of odd. It's kind of weird. You know, we just met. He even said, I love you the first date that we had. Those are red flags, people. Those are red flags, because love is something that's gradually earned, period. You can be highly attracted to somebody, but love is a process. So when somebody said they love you the first couple times they talk to you, that's a red flag. At that time, when I met him, I was so torn by the relationship that I had, so hurt, so betrayed by my son's father. I was so hurt and damaged. And here's this guy love bombing me, telling me that I'm the greatest thing in the world, telling me that he loves talking to me, giving me these compliments, basically putting me on a pedestal that I so desperately wanted to be on. So, yeah, of course I fell for it. I mean, I was insecure. I was a single mom, had a 1-year-old. So of course I would decide to date him and everything, despite the red flags. But as time fast forward, I realized he was one of those same kind of guys. He'll say a few things that were trying to chip away at my self-esteem, make it seem like I could not survive without him. I could not live or keep a roof over my head without him, things like that. He made it seem like that he's a part of this team, which is our relationship, but I felt like I was a single mom. I was paying for all my son's expenses. I was paying half for rent, half on, not even half. I was paying most of the household stuff, even though he was a grown man in the house. And his only excuse was that he has a family back in Nigeria that he wants to make sure that he takes care of. First of all, I'm not saying anything bad about dating somebody from a different country, because we know there are good relationships out there where two people are from two different countries, even Nigeria, okay? But let's just be real. A lot of those relationships where you're with someone from a different country, you're just a resource. I've never been to Nigeria, but I do want to go one day. But it is a third world country, and they'll do whatever it takes to get to the United States. They'll marry you, things like that. To this day, I don't know if that was my ex-husband's intention, and I'm not going to even comment on that, only because it's so irrelevant to me now. It doesn't even matter anymore. I just want to bring that up. But yeah, this guy, he wanted to control everything I do. Like where I go, He even got mad when I kind of snickered at my phone after reading a Facebook post, thinking that I was communicating with another man. Things like that. And a lot of women, especially young women, would think, oh, that's cute, he just loves me and everything. No, that's not normal. I'm telling you, that's not normal. And the same goes for men dating women. You don't date jealous women. I mean, they're dangerous. Jealous people are dangerous. Even to a point where I'll wear a tank top now, just a tank top, and he says that I'm exposing myself. Come on now. That I had enough mental capability to know that the way I dress was not provocative. But to tell me that I need you and stuff, and looking at my financial situation and my poor financial habits, that's what really got to me. That's what really tore me to bits, because I really thought that I needed him. What bothered me too is that it questioned my judgment when it comes to dating someone. I was so scared to date anybody after that, because it's like, what if this is another bad person? What if this is another one trying to use me, abuse me, things like that? I was so scared. Ooh, just thinking about that, it was devastating. But that relationship eventually ended. But when it ended, even though it needed to end, I felt, and then the way it ended, it wasn't even like we were living together, and the last year that we were together, we were not really husband and wife, so to speak. We were just roommates. When he left, he just left a message on Facebook saying that I just left, and this was on Easter Sunday. Like, come on. And the pettiness was so real. Like, we knew we were going to separate, but it was just the way he separated. He didn't say goodbye. It was so petty. He literally just disappeared. So here I am at this apartment with my son, which we don't have any children together, thank God. But my son was still young, maybe about 5 or 6 years old at the time. But the pettiness was so real how he left. He just left, just like that. And then, and I'm not gonna go too much into the details of the relationship even afterwards, but he really thought that he was teaching me a lesson when he left. Because I think it was several months later, I reached out to him, and I only reached out to him because I didn't even have enough money to pay for the divorce. So my main purpose was to ask him, when was he going to go ahead and file for a divorce? Before I even asked that question, and we were talking on the phone, he was like, oh my gosh, I'm here in Texas. Life is great. I can't wait till you might get here. You will definitely like Texas. It was almost like he completely, he had amnesia about the things that happened before he left. So he was trying to hype me up so I can stay with him, right? But my mind was already made up. I was like, okay, so we're going to file for the divorce. And he got upset. He got so mad, and he just hung up on me, and he said that from now on, when we communicate, is all by text. Again, control. He had control issues. The two ex-boyfriends had control issues. Narcissism. Eventually, of course, we got divorced, but again, this is all going to tie up to why these men have failed me and stuff. And of course, somebody's going to be like, well, you just chose the wrong guys. I really feel, I'm not the most religious. I don't read the Bible like I should. But what I know is that men are the leaders of the world. Not saying that women can't be leaders, women are not significant, but basically, we women look up to you. All right, y'all mold us into how we are. The world, I really feel like men need to take accountability. And again, I'm not bashing men. I'm just saying that a lot of men need to take accountability about the fact that you're the leaders and we look up to you. So whatever you do, for the most part, we'll follow. We will follow what you do, whether it's good or bad. All right. So I wanted to say that. Okay. So with that being said, let's go to the next significant man in my life. Now, this was a strange one because growing up as kids, we were best friends. We were like this, even as adults, we were like this. So the fact that our relationship is so broken, our friendship is so broken that I have to block him on social media and even on my phone, it was not an easy decision. It was not. It was heartbreaking, but it had to be done. And I feel so much better after doing it, which is my younger brother. Now, my younger brother, I don't want to bash him because he's not a bad person. I really don't think he is. He's a good father to his kids, but somewhere along the line as him growing up, something snapped. When I say snapped, that he's one of those people who feel that whatever Andrew Tate says is Bible, is fact. All right? That's a horrible sign. So, even not only that, he finds justification to find any reason to hit women. All right? He's been in past relationships where he actually did hit women. All right? I know he or my family members are going to see this video, but I'm tired of hiding the truth. I'm going to speak my truth. And I can't be around somebody that looks at me as a punching bag. And I'm your flesh and blood. I'm your sister. And whenever I call you out on something that you've done, the first thing you want to do is hit me. Now, for the record, he has never physically hit me before, but I feel like it's going to happen one day if I'm around him any longer. All right. And that it really saddens me. I don't know what happened, but I even told him, because I'm a type of person, I believe in therapy, I believe in counseling. And I told him that he really does need counseling because I feel like something happened in his past, something that snapped that made him hate women so much. And yes, I do believe a lot of these men, if not all, hate women. I swear, I park so far away from the store, but people still park near me. Give me a second. Anyway, so that's the situation with my brother. And it's like, it's sad. It's really sad that a lot of these people who need therapy won't go to therapy. And it's like this stigma, especially in the Black community, that, therapy means you're weak, something wrong with you, when there's not the case. You have to express your emotions to somebody who's unbiased. That's how I look at it. Somebody that has no relationship to you, no friendship, who don't even know you. You can talk to people about what's going on in your life and to help you draw a perspective of what to do moving forward, It really is that simple. I mean, come on, people. We really got to stop stigmatizing or making therapy seem like the enemy. All right? We got to stop doing that, Black people. That's a significant person that I had to cut out my life. And speaking of cutting out my life, this goes to like female friends too, platonic friends. The past 5 to 6 months, I had to cut out so many people. No, I'm not talking about they cut me off. I'm talking about me cutting them off, because they want me to be the old person that I was. They want me to be the Keisha who just smoke and sat on the couch, smoke that Mary Jane. That's the best. I'm trying not to get demonetized. They want me to sit down on the couch and smoke and do nothing with them like it used to be back in the good old days. They want me to be the one who used to complain about life back in the good old days. They want me to be the one who was timid and who was had a low self-esteem, who thought less of herself, who did not want to speak the truth about what was on her mind back in the day. I'm not like that anymore, you guys, and you can't make me back to that way. I mean, what's done is done. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you can't forget how to ride. All right? And that's the same thing about my mentality now. I can't go back to the way I was because now I know the truth about who I am and my purpose in life. And nobody's gonna make me fall off my bike. Nobody's gonna trip me up. You might try, you might try, but nobody's gonna do that anymore, because the Most High, He got my back, and I'm allowing Him. Not only that, I'm allowing God to lead me. All right, God loves everybody. He loves even the worst criminals, the worst of people, the people who are not living godly per se, you know, because we're all still sinners. He still loves you, and He loves you enough to say, hey, I'm here whenever you need me. I'm here. You just gotta follow my lead. And I'm allowing Him to do that. And so far I have received so many blessings, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the beginning. All right. And you're going to see throughout if you see me in person, you're going to see throughout the way I carry myself. If you see me on YouTube, you're going to see my YouTube channel grow. And this is not being cocky. It's just that this is my purpose in life. All right. And I'm following it because God told me to do so, and I trust Him. All right. And I'm very passionate about this, because there's so many people who put on this mask saying that they are following God, saying that they are children of God, when at the end of the day, they are the meanest, most cruel people I have ever met and dealt with in my life. And I got to a point where I gotta cut them out. Once I know that you're trying to belittle me, trying to betray me, trying to imitate me, and yes, there's healthy imitation. Like I want people to kind of look at what I do as motivation, but at the same time, don't copy me to a T, because it's really weird. That's really weird, and you got to learn how to navigate this life on your own, but find your own style in doing it. Take inspiration from others, but find your own way. Does that make sense? Anyway, that was definitely a tangent. That was definitely a sidebar. I wanted to say all this to kind of get y'all ready for the arch nemesis of my life, for the person who I know for a fact, 100%, with all my heart I know, who loves me and hates me at the same time, which is my dad. So, my dad. It took me a very, very, very long time to realize that he is the most hurt and hurtful person I've ever met. When I say hurt, he has been hurt in his growing up, his development, so much that I don't even know about, and he'll probably never talk about. But I can tell now, I can understand it now. And he has said some hurtful things to me, not only me, but the whole family. The whole family, my mom, my sister, my brother, to them. He said those things about me. I know he talks about me behind my back. I'm not dumb. He even said that for me to get this car, I must have slept with my ex-husband. This is my father, right? And it's one thing that other people might think that, but my father, it's very, very hurtful. But I'm over it now. I'm not, but it's just like when I initially heard it, that really tells me how less than that he thinks of me. Yeah. And not because I'm a bad person. I have my flaws. I made my mistake. But not because I'm a bad person, because he knows that I walk with God. He knows that I'm a different person now. He knows how confident I am now. Also, I wanted to state the fact that I don't hate my dad. In fact, I'm very grateful that he's in my life. I mean, not a lot of people can say that because of their dad's job, you were able to live in Europe, like Germany. I lived in Germany twice. I lived in different places in the U.S. I got to learn so much about different cultures and different people because of my dad. Not only that, growing up as a kid, I looked up to him. Like, I just thought he was the coolest person on the planet. It used to really impress me how great he was at sports, and I wanted to be just like that. So if anybody remember me playing sports as a kid and how good I was, and again, I'm not tooting my own horn, that's just, these are what people were telling me, how I used to play kickball really good. I was decent in basketball, but still, I mean, I had the heart. I was good in volleyball. Just sports in general. It was because of my dad. I wanted to copy him to a T, okay? Another thing, when it comes to driving, my driving style, I used to, before I even learned how to drive, I used to stare at my dad and thought it was so cool how he'll use his left hand, you know, to turn the wheel like this. And I'm like, you know what, I want to drive like that too. So his swag, if you want to put it all together, do people still say swag? I don't know, but anyway, his swag was so dope to me, and I just wanted to copy him, and I did. So I've always been grateful for him. He was everything, and still is. I still am grateful that he's in my life, despite his narcissistic ways. Anyway, this feels a little bit emotional. I'm not gonna cry, but it's just more like, this is really hitting me, because it's like, to know that someone that you inspired to be like, someone who raised you, someone you just thought was everything, who, because of their upbringing, because of their mindset, because of how they were raised, they brought you down, because of how they felt about themselves. And you're a kid, so you don't know about the psychology of the mind then. You really don't. So you're just a kid. But when you have your father telling you that you're stupid, when you have your father telling you like negative things about your body as you're growing up as a woman, you know, and I'm talking about like things that make your stomach churn, put it that way. Because it's like, it's one thing that a random guy talk bad about me when it comes to the way I look, or my body and stuff like that, but to hear from your dad, you know. And then another thing, ladies, you know, specifically for ladies, again, this can be for guys as well, but specifically for ladies, I swear, from the time that we were born, we are critiqued by the way we look, and we're critiqued almost every single day. So can you imagine that stress? You're stressing about just existing and trying to appeal to the male gaze. Try not only the male gaze, try to appeal to female gaze, because hey, the way you look determines what kind of friends you have too. Or if you want to be in a certain clique, you know, you gotta look a certain way, things like that. So you're judged from the day you're born, and then you realize that the one who's closest to you doesn't even like you and thinks that you're just crap, you know. And I know that people are like going to see this video and be like, look at all the things he's done for you. I was there. So I see it. I was there. But that does not give anybody a reason to treat you like shit. Remember that. When people give you stuff, what they're trying to do is say, hey, I'm giving you this stuff so that I can treat you like shit, and you can't say anything about it because I gave you this. Remember that. And I'm talking about like narcissistic people. They'll give you something so that they can use that against you. All right? And that's exactly what my dad does all the time. All the time. Whew. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But because of his narcissistic ways, well, let me backtrack. I really feel, and this is just a theory. Okay, first of all, he needs therapy more than I ever can imagine. Second, when I hear him talk a little bit about his relationship with his sisters. Now, his older sisters raised him a good chunk of his childhood because his mother passed away at an early age. And some of the things I'm pretty sure some of the things they said or did affected him, which, and again, this is all theory, which is why I think a lot of black men hate black women. Again, this is just theory. So if you say that I'm just bashing people and stuff, I'm not. I'm just theorizing how people act towards people, especially black women. So think about the black women that raised you and treat you like crap. you're going to grow up and think that all black women are bad. It's like a psychological thing, unless you get therapy. But anyway, so he brought that same energy as he got older about how he felt about women. All right. And he knows that by being this way, he can use women, and also bash them at the same time. All right. So going back to me, I'm 40 years old now. And I'll say within the past, I'll say 5 years. But in the past 5 years, I realized my worth. I realized my value in this world. And anything he says to me is like water off a duck's back. It don't even matter anymore, because it's like, I get it now. I get it. You're intimidated by me because I'm the one who's going to carry this family to the direction they need to be in. Yes, your daughter who you made the scapegoat. Your daughter who you made the enemy, who you convinced everybody that I was a bad person. No. I'm going to be the one to carry this family to a prosperous future. And when I say carry, that doesn't mean that that was my goal. Because at the end of the day, I want to have I want everybody to have a good life, whether you're family or not. But I know that my words is going to affect somebody, even one person is going to affect somebody, and they're going to realize their true worth and their true power, because I decided to take the first step to make a YouTube channel and talk about my life and share my life and share my world. That's all it takes, is that first step to get up off your seat and do it. And your narcissistic family member, partner, friend, whatever the case may be, they're going to see it and try to belittle you and try to bash you down to destroy your light. But don't let them. In fact, get away from them. Get away from them. Because once you do, God will be like, you see all these gifts I was trying to give you? You see it? All right. Now you're more receptive to get it. No. So yeah, so I say all this to say that this is not just for me, but for anybody watching this video, for anybody, that you're going to meet some people, a lot of men, maybe a lot of women, who are going to fail you in your life. But at the end of the day, it's not up to them, especially when you become an adult. When you become an adult and become more aware, fight for your independence. Work hard so that you don't need anybody to take care of you. Work hard so that you don't need anyone to say, I told you so. Or work hard so you don't have to worry about if somebody's going to pull the rug underneath your feet, so to speak. Be independent. Again, this is for both men and women, but especially women. Be independent and on your own. Not saying that, fear relationships with people, whether it's platonic or romantic. Trust me. I know I'll be married, so I'm not going to even say that I'm just going to be away from a relationship my whole life. No. And if it does happen, it happens, but I doubt it. But work hard to get away from these people who just want to drain your energy, this energy vampires, if you will. Because once you 100% get to that point where nobody can phase you, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, that's where the true power comes. That's where the true power comes. And with that, with your example, with your life, you can lead others to be more independent. I mean, that's just the way it works. When you can help yourself, you can help others. Period. So, yeah. I hope you like this video. I know it wasn't a vlog, but sometimes, I don't vlog. This is the way it is. But like, share, and subscribe. I really enjoy making this video. It was in my heart to go ahead and share this to somebody. God literally told me, okay, Keisha, pull over, record this video, and I did, and I'm glad. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay blessed, and yeah, shine your light. All right, bye-bye.